Welcome to you once again in the Department of English, RBNB College, Sri Rampur. You are watching a video which is based on the novel, very interesting novel prescribed at F.Y.B.A. special paper number 3, English special paper number 3, Animal Farm. So far as this paper is concerned, you are going to study this paper into 3 different heads. Number 1, elements of novel. Number 2, types of novel. And number 3 is animal farm for the first term. And in the second term, you are going to study the 2 more novels that are entitled as The Guide and The Old Man and the Sea. In short, we can say the background is the first part and the 3 novels is the second part of our study. So far as the first term concerned, we are only related to the background, that is elements of novel, types of novel, and the novel, that is Animal Farm, written by George Orwell. Now, before studying any kind of literature, any kind of genre of literature, we must know the social, political, economical background of the age to understand the literary work properly. Before studying Animal Farm, you should be familiar with certain things that what the basis of this novel. This novel is based on the history, that is Russian revelation to Second World War. So when you study as an art, you can enjoy this novel, but being the student of English literature, you must be known what is the allegorical meaning of that novel, how the novel is a satire one, how the novel is a fable one. So we'll study this novel according to these heads. But the first part of this video is related how the Animal Farm is an allegory, or we can say allegorical references in animal farms. So what is first as an allegory? Allegory is just an expression by means of symbolic fictional figures and action. So first of all, these are the fictional characters, these are the symbolical characters, even the actions are symbolical. It says something. The surface meaning is different and the deeper meaning is quite different. So before studying this novel Animal Farm, being the special English students, you must be familiar with the Russian Revolution. That means when it was fought, why the revolution takes place, who are the major, we can say, contributors or who contributed in the revolution, what were the different actions took place at the time of revolution, etc. Now, as the title suggests, that what are the allegorical references in Animal Farm? And in this video, you will study this topic under 2 heads. That the characters in the novel and the events or places and concepts described here in the novel purely allegorical. So far as the first part is concerned, that's related to the characters. So at F.Y.B.A, you studied the importance of characters in a literary piece, literary genre like short story and novel. So far as the novel is concerned, we have protagonist, we have antagonist, the different types of characters, just like the dynamic characters, round characters, flat characters, etc. Or major characters, minor characters, antagonists, protagonists, etc. We'll study it later on in the last video. But here, in general, we can say we differentiate these characters under different heads for the sake of our study. So we have in this novel, there are the characters. The first type is the ruling characters. The ruling characters may be the human beings or may be the animals. And the second type is the working class, or which is also known as the followers of the ruling class. Okay. Then when we read the novels, there are different types of animals and birds are described. So first category is the human being. When you open the novel, when you read the first chapter of the novel has 10 different chapters. And in the first chapter, the animals and the human being are described. We can say the major characters are described in chapter number 1. So we have human characters, we have animals, we have birds even also. So the main focus you have to give on these characters, that is animals or birds, because the title of this novel is Animal Farm. That is, this farm belongs to animal. Okay. First of all, in the first chapter, the title, there is a farm, you can say, and the farm is known as Manor Farm. Because this farm belongs to man, human being, so it is known as manor farm. So animals in this novel are exploited. So human being, Mr. John and his men, they never look after the animals. So animals revolt against human being, and then there is a reign of animals on this on this farm, and so the title of the farm is changed, and manor farm becomes Animal Farm. Now we can see the rule on the farm, or the rulers on the farm are animals. And later on in the 10th chapter, when the animal becomes ruler, they behave just like human being, and they never look after their comrades or their friends, or we can say other animals. And later on, again the title is changed and it becomes Manor Farm. So the circle is complete. The novel begins with Manor Farm, then it becomes Animal Farm, and later on again it becomes manor farm. Though human being is not a ruler, animals are ruler of this farm, but the title is changed. Why? Because animals behave just like human beings. So all the vices we see in the animals, especially in the ruling animals. So now we are going to study, and these characters in the novel, they symbolize something. They are allegorical characters. They are not, we can say, real characters. Okay. So no animal can speak in a human language, but here, as a fable, you see animals are talking with each other. They are meeting each other. They even also do trade, etc. All human vices we see in this animal. So that is why I say this is a very world classic novel. When you start to read it, I hope that you never finish this. You will finish this novel within one sitting. So such a interesting novel is for your study. So let me introduce the first important character in this novel, whose name is Old Major. So he belongs. This is a boar, B-O-A-R. So you know the difference between the pigs and the boar, okay, or the hogs and pork. So they are similar, we can say, words, but there is little difference in it. So boar is specially tamed by human being, especially for different purpose. Okay, so old measure is a main character in chapter number 1, and his speech, he gives a speech in chapter number 1, and his speech makes the other animals to revolt against Mr. and Mrs. John and his men, and then later on there was the reign of animals. So this is, we can say, source of revolt, or old measure's speech is the source of revelation. Okay, so this is the important character, and he is the prize winner boar. First of all, there is a manor farm which belongs to Mr. and Mrs. John, and in this farm, or we can say in this farm, there are different types of servants are there, but Mr. John is drunkard person, and he never look after the animals in manor farm. Okay, and even when he goes, he gambles, he drinks, or all the vices, you can say, he has all of these vices, and so he neglects his duty. He never look after the hens or cows or pigs and boar, all of these animals. Only he look after the tame birds, just like raven. Actually, raven does nothing, but this man, Mr. John, is so favor of this character. And you will notice then later on in the novel the importance of these characters, why the novelist introduced the less minor characters to develop the action. So this old measure is the prize winner boar, and he is known as Willingdon Beauty. You see, in the rural areas, the people have they tame some animals for the sake of competition, and here this boar, old measure, is tame only for the sake of competition, healthy competition of health, and old measure gets the first prize where the competition was taken place in Willingdon, and so the title was given to him, Willingdon Beauty. Don't forget, he is not a human being, he is a boar, and he is highly regarded in the animal farm, or we can say he is respected, though he is present only in the first chapter, but all of the animals in the animal farm respect him a lot, and he is an elder statesman, he is a good orator, and he is 12 years old, he is stout even also, and has a majestic looking, he is wise, he is benevolent appearance, he has big tussage, and he is a father of 104 children. And this old measure is symbolizes, when we study the Russian revelation, this character old measure symbolizes, or allegorical reference is Karl Marx and Lenin. So when you read the novel, when you read old measure, you keep in mind that this old measure is nobody else but the Karl Marx or Lenin, who are the thinkers who make the people to revolt against Tsar. Okay, cruel Tsar, we can say. And here, old measure also initiatives, or we can say inspires other animal to revolt against human being. The second character, important character in the novel, is Napoleon. So when after the first chapter, at the beginning of the second chapter, we see old measure is died because he is old, 12 years already old, and the boar has not got plenty of life. Okay, so natural age, he dies naturally, and then the animals become the owner of this farm, and the farm is known as animal farm. And then we have the struggle of power we see here. and the two important characters, that is Napoleon and Snowball, both belongs to Boer category. Okay, so hierarchically they get the power. So there was the quarrel, there was the dispute between Napoleon and Snowball, and how this dispute take place we'll have to study in the novel. But this, as far as this Napoleon character Napoleon is concerned, he is very, very selfish. He is corrupted, and his stress is also always given on the improvement of food production throughout the novel. He is very cruel one, he is very cunning one, he is a dictator, and he expels Snowball from animal farm. And this Napoleon stands as a historical character. When we study historical characters, where this character resembles to the Stalin, who is on power in 1922. Then the next character is Snowball, who is a good character. He is a good organizer. He is very intelligent one, and he gives stress on education. So he is a brave even also. He has great interest in the modernity or modernization, and he wants to build windmill for the sake of animals, or to make the animals' life very healthy one. When we read the history of Russian Revolution, this Snowball symbolizes or allegorically reference. When we check the allegorical references, or this character is symbolized as Trotsky, and we also are familiar with the dispute between Stalin and Trotsky. So in short, we can say here old measure is Karl Marx or Lenin, Napoleon is Stalin, and Snowball is Trotsky. When you compare the life and work of these leaders in Russian history and the leaders in animal farm, you see there is a certain resemblance in between these characters. Next, we also notice the character of Squealer. So who is this Squealer? Squealer belongs to pig, and it is next to boar. Okay, as far as the social hierarchy is concerned, the after boar comes pig. So he is from this category of pig, that is Mr. Squealer, who is a very clever, and just like Napoleon, he is cunning, and in short we can say he is public relation officer of Napoleon. Whatever the decisions taken by Napoleon, this Squealer usually goes to animal and usually convince the animals how Napoleon is right and how he looks after you. So he is a good orator even also, and he is the man of propaganda. So propaganda, and this character symbolizes Joseph Goebbels. Perhaps you have heard this word, that is Goebbels technology. That means how to convince the people. And nowadays, when you study the world politics, you find that is Goebbels technology or Goebbels techniques helps people to elect in the election. So Squealer stands to Joseph Goebbels. We have another character in this novel which belongs to the ruling party, okay, or the rulers, especially here boar, pigs and dogs. These are the ruling characters. So here Minimus is a young pig. He is a poet and he writes a poem, and he symbolizes the writers, the authors of the age. And the duty of the authors and writers is to, we can say, write in favor of the common people, the average people, for the society. But nowadays we see the different pictures. These people, they always support the political leaders, or we can say the ruling people. And this character of Minimus is symbolized to the writers of the age. Then next we have the two beaches. That is, what is beaches? That is the female of dog, named Jessie and Bluebell. So these are the mothers of 9 fearful dogs. So who are the 9 fearful dogs? Later on in the next, in the 5th chapter, you will notice this, the role of the 9 fearful dogs, or here they are now puppies actually. Okay, so they represent the cruel followers of ruling people, or here in this novel we say Napoleon. Then we have Peacher. So Peacher is honestly serves Napoleon, who also stands as the cruel follower of Napoleon. Then we have Sheep. Actually, Sheep doesn't belong to ruling party or ruling characters. They are the blind followers of the ruling party. And on the world level, you see, there are some people who are blindly follows their leaders. Their leaders take the decision and they follow it, and they tries to say how their leader is good, how their leader has taken right decision. Okay, later on at the end of the novel, you notice this, because first the slogan was, this old major taught them slogan to the sheep, that two legs bad, 4 legs good, or 4 legs good, 2 legs bad, because human being has 2 legs and animal has 4 legs, so 4 legs good, 2 legs bad. But at the end of the novel, these sheep, they change their slogan and they say 4 legs good, 2 legs better. Okay, so how they, that is why I say they are the blind followers of the ruling party. Here, ruling party means here the party of Mr. Napoleon in an Animal Farm. Then we have the next hard workers animals are also in this novel, and the first is Boxer, who is a cart horse. He is very strong, he is a hard worker, he is devoted, he is enormous, he has 18 hands high, he has a power of 2 ordinary horses. Then he has white strips on his nose, which looks like the stupid appearance, but he is respected due to his steadiness and his character, and he has tremendous power. He is loyal to Animal Farm, and finally at the end of the novel, he was sold to a knacker or the butcher, and here this character belongs to the working class in the community. The next character is Clover, which is also a cart horse. She is also strong, she is also stout, she is a motherly mare, she is middle-aged, but she maintained her figure even after the 4th foal. She has hairy hooves, and she always wore boxers. And at the end of the novel, she was very shocked to listen the news of Boxer's death. And the next character is Molly. So Molly is also a mare, okay, but she is a foolish mare. She has a white and beautiful. She avoids the work throughout the novel. She is fond of lump of sugar. She plaited her hair with colored ribbons, and she draws Mr. John's trap, and she is very proud of her beauty, and she had also a love affair with the another horse in the another farm. So these are the, and she represents the Russian middle class who enjoys the privilege. Okay, so these are the allegorical references of the in Animal Farm. In the next video, we are going to see some more animals which reflects the allegorical references in the history. Thank you to spare time with me.